What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So the developers have dropped a robbing gameplay sequence, and I thought we should take some time to look a little bit in depth with it and just kind of take some notes and be able to kind of analyze a few things, and perhaps we'll be able to get a really clear picture as to some of the abilities that this character has. So this is also in conjunction with the robbing character reveal that they did, and so there are a few things that we'll see here that we've already seen before. So instead, what I'll do is I'll probably be asking questions. So when Robin jumps in the air to probably land in a location, it appears to me that he seems to have a grapple ability. If you notice, there's an indicator here that's saying that he can probably grapple to this location if you want to. Maybe that's going to require a separate input. And then seems to me as well that there's another input system for you to be able to use the teleportation ability, and then you're able to use your movement input, that's your left joystick, to control where you want him to land. And then maybe when you release that button, or maybe you confirm your location, then he's able to zap there. Now, another really interesting thing that I wanted to ask, because this is something that we all know, is it something where if there's an enemy NPC in that area, you can choose to do a takedown on that enemy NPC, or you pretty much, can just probably have to maybe put your location on top of where the enemy NPC is, and that's something automatic. I guess that's something we'll see as the gameplay goes. So this is apparently a heroic traversal takedown, something that I believe you're probably going to have to unlock on the heroic or the knighthood tree. I think that's pretty much what it is. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just a regular takedown that you can get once the game starts. You can also see here that Robin is flexing. He's a little flamboyant in this game, and to me, there's really nothing wrong with that. And the flex I'm telling you is he lands on the enemy NPC, he rolls that staff over his back, and then wham, takes the enemy NPC out. Now, here's what I really like about this particular sequence, and this is the game developer side of the conversation. The animation is clean. Ladies and gentlemen, look at it again. You cannot argue with this animation sequence. I like what I see so far with the animation. Now, yes, there are aspects of the animation that could be improved, like when he swings his arm, he could probably maybe lean into that motion a little bit, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Say for a 10-10 animation, you're probably going to see his back, probably, maybe his spine bend a little bit, but hey, that's not really a big deal. I'll still pay $60 for that animation if I can see things like that in the full game. Not only that, you basically see him do that, and you notice that the camera movement is actually pretty good. One thing about these so-called fighting games that we get to see is camera placement in specific events or quick time activities is a really big deal. And with the Arkham games, we've been so spoiled, and even the Spider-Man game, that takedown camera is now something that almost has to be a staple. And I like the way they actually put this camera in perspective. You have him looking at the enemy NPC, you have the enemy NPC on the ground who's probably trying to, stop him from hitting him, and wham. Well, maybe they need to work on that enemy NPC again just to make sure that this is a AAA game representative of 2022. But that's me being nitpicky. Then he does this environment takedown. Folks, I think this probably got a few people to probably salivate. Maybe like they just started to just say, I want to play this game right now. And I think that's really cool, seeing that these systems are in this particular video game. So the environment takedown, he basically uses that little structure as kind of a ledge, pretty much jumps on it, uses his hand, grabs onto the enemy NPC's head, and pretty much just slams him into the ground, and then finishes with like some kind of a ground spinning kick. All right, Robin, we get it. You're Bruce's boy. You really had to do that man like that. I get it. All right. So that's also something else where I feel the camera movements and the animations probably would benefit from a little bit more slow-mo, but that's also at the discretion of the developers as well. Maybe they didn't necessarily need for you to do that, but it's not really a big deal. Honestly, they already got the slow frames at the beginning, animation sets. And so this is probably fine. And then there's something too that I really have to criticize in this particular area right here. He does a perfect evade, so that's pretty much a moveset where you can perfectly evade an attack that's actually coming your way, and they indicate it, perfect evade, and then he does a perfect counter. But the perfect counter pretty much launches the enemy NPC to oblivion. So I guess the counter system is just as Jeff Eleanor had actually said. He said that the counter system was not going to be a system like the Arkham games where you saw an indicator for an enemy NPC trying to hit you, or maybe you saw or learned the animations that they're trying to hit you for you to dodge or counter, but instead you have specific moves that can break enemy attacks. So I think that counter system is maybe a button input when an enemy is about to hit you with a move that you can counter, then you can use that button or that input at that time to be able to go back and pretty much counter that enemy NPC. So that's actually pretty good in my opinion. And so something that's also very interesting and indicative too of the way the combat system flows, in my opinion. So that's the evade, and then that's the perfect counter. Very good. I think maybe Red Hood might have been using his guns a lot to try to do that and achieve that. So that's what made it really weird for some of us, is this particular sequence right here. You see, he jumps in front of that guy. He dodges, but I don't know if he dodges this guy's move before he actually shoots his slingshot ability into the air. That's where I'm a little bit confused as to how he pretty much is not getting hit by this baseball bat, because this guy is about to hit him and he seems the input for the ability had already been in. So does it mean that when you're doing some abilities you're invulnerable, or is this like a low difficulty setting, like easy difficulty, where the enemy NPCs are kind of chill and they let you just kind of swing around, and then right in front of him as he's about to whack him, he just whiffs, and then Robin is able to do this. So this probably needs a little bit more investigation if you were to ask me. I mean, it's not necessarily a big deal, but I'll take it anyways for now and say, okay, this is a big question mark. So let's put a question mark on this one here, and then let's move on. So this fireworks ability is, it just basically drops a bunch of area of effect things from the sky. I don't know how... I don't really know what to make of this, because how does this automatically target enemies and avoid you, Robin? I guess some Justice League type technology. Maybe, Marshall Manhunter has something in his locker room that recognizes Robin or something. I don't know, man. Let's just stop there. And then he throws some projectiles and then goes in for a basic strike, and he takes out that guy. So this might be on a very low difficulty of some kind. Or maybe that fireworks ability already kind of primed them. Maybe it kind of melted their health a little bit, and then he hit him with those 3 projectiles, so his health is probably maybe low, and then goes in for that kick at 230. So that's a very heavy basic strike. And so what's 157 damage here? Okay, so those projectile pieces are actually dealing 157 damage. And by the way, these number systems are going to be in the game. They don't seem to have removed it. So I guess you can hide it because we didn't see it in the Robin and Nightwing, in the Nightwing and Red Hood gameplay. But that's pretty much it. And then he does another strike takedown. We see some camera movement here as well. This is very reminiscent of the Arkham games. I know somebody might say maybe Spider-Man or whatever, but Arkham really took it to a whole different level with the way they did individual camera, switches on individual hits of a takedown. So what I mean by that is, as you're about to take somebody down, say you're going to hit him 3 times, the camera will switch 3 times and in sync with every hit. So look at this very well. So he goes and he grabs him 1, 2, 3, and the camera is basically just panning as well, just to pretty much indicate that. Now in the Arkham games, they usually switch, entire different directions. Like sometimes they'll go on the Z axis and they'll go on the other side of the, maybe X axis, negative or positive, whatever. But it's still, in my opinion, something I feel is okay for this particular game. I mean, you can put all that really nice stuff in there, but you're dealing with 4 characters. And I think the camera work can be unique and still showcase what it's about. So this gameplay, sequence here, I really do think this has really improved our perception of the game. I've seen a lot of comments underneath. I've seen a lot of people pretty much say some things to the positive. Some people have said, well, they're not really fans of it if you read, some of the comments. But to my own side of things, I think this is more of a positive light for this game right now. There's so much going on. And there's so much the developers seem to be putting forward. I just hope that the game has, some more, I would say, how do I put it? It has some more depth to it in a sense, and people are able to enjoy this part of the game and enjoy this part of, the combat in conjunction with all the other things that a game like this can present. So Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. I just want to, know how you guys are perceiving this right now, and what, in the community here, a lot of you are kind of seeing so far. So thanks for watching the video. Hopefully we'll talk very soon. Peace out.